Hey everybody, thanks for hanging out with me on this Wednesday morning for a craft with me video. We are saving salvaged books this morning. Leanne sent me this wonderful book. It's a blank book, something like, you can maybe get in the dollar store, something like that. The cover on it was super scratched and had like gouges and stuff in it. So I recovered it with some stick-ons, and then I added a photo, and this is really super cool. I was introduced to this by Leanne. This is like just a huge kind of washi tape, which really did work well to cover this book. It did have like a hard cover. So one salvage book here. And then Leanne also sent another book, same kind of thing. It was kind of gouged on the front, and I covered this one with fabric and put a pocket in it. A beautiful blank book. A lot of times you can find blank books like in the thrift stores and stuff like that. We're gonna work on two this morning. This one does not have a cover. I'm gonna set that to the side. These books are 5 by 7. I don't really know where this one came from. It does have like a cardstocky kind of cover on it. What we're going to do with this one is take some thin-ish paper. This is not like the thick cardstock. This is the thin stuff that we often find in those big bulk, paper pads. I think I'm going to do that instead of this one. A lot of times you'll get a paper pad and it's just like one of those big bulky pads, and they're awesome because they have all kinds of different patterns and papers in it, and it's just really a lot of fun to work with. This is a thin-ish paper. This is from the Paper Studio. These are the kinds, it's a marble turquoise. These are the kinds of papers that you can find in the paper section at Michael's. The first thing that we want to do is kind of measure this up and see how it will fit on our cover, because basically we're going to cover the whole book. So let's just kind of, I'm doing this off the cuff because I just need to get a video up, and I also just wanted to talk to y'all. All right, so we can kind of see where we are on this paper. Let's go ahead and cut this paper right here, because I can kind of see where we're aiming. Your size of paper is going to depend on your book. Now this is 5 by 7, like I said, so I'm leaving a little bit, probably an inch down here and an inch up here, because we're going to wrap this book just like we would. Okay, so this is the proper size of the book, so I'm leaving a 1/2 inch for the top and a 1/2 inch for the bottom, and this should be right. Hope so. I'm not the cleverest of people measuring things. All right, this is just like a really fun thing to do with kiddos and stuff like that. Next thing I want to do is I thought about getting rid of this thing right here, and then I realized that that would probably interfere with the integrity of the book. So what I want to do is take my brush and go ahead and glue this down. Now it might pop up right here, this might show through the cover, but we're going to decorate it anyway, so it's not going to really make that much of a difference. But I feel like for the for the integrity of the book, I need to kind of glue that down. And a lot of times you'll find books that have that sweet little thingy right here, and that could be a cool pocket. If you, if you sewed it here or did some double stick tape or something, then you could put papers or whatever on the inside. My Mod Podge is tacky glue with a little bit of water. I stopped buying Mod Podge a long time ago when the wonderful Kathy K, thank you Kathy K, started sending me these big gallons of Eileen's tacky glue, and it's like, man, that works out really well. All right, let's kind of look at what we got going here. Okay, I think we're ready to glue. I do want to kind of smoosh down the spine like that. You know, just kind of smoosh it down a little bit so we can find the spine as we are putting this together. And then we're just going to go in with the tacky glue. The tacky glue Mod Podge. And it's so funny, when I first started crafting, and that's been like 10 years ago, I would watch craft videos and then figure out how I could do that. How can I do that? It always worked out really well for me. I like kind of DIYing it and doing it yourself. Like, you know, I didn't have beads, right? So I was like, how can I get beads? I started watching Jenny Belly, who, you know, her big thing is has always been like, creativity does not come from the craft store. I remember her saying that. And she's right. You can kind of just put it together yourself, right? And kind of just go with the flow and figure it out. And substitutions. I'm really big into substitutions. Even when I'm cooking, I'm into substitutions. Recipes that call for heavy cream, you can do that with milk and cornstarch. You know, just shake it up, and by golly, you got heavy cream. All right, now we're going to tuck this right here. One of my first jobs that I ever had, other than a magician's assistant and a musician, was working in a pharmacy in the small town where I grew up. You want to kind of pull this a little bit down like this, a little bit down like that. Fluff your pages, ruffle your pages, just to make sure you didn't get any glue in here. You know what I'm talking about? One of my first jobs was working in a pharmacy. And we had a gift wrapping station. We made our own bows. We had all kinds of papers. So if you purchased a gift at the pharmacy, at the shop there, then you could get your gift wrapping for free. And we were known for our gift wrapping. It was a really fun job. All my cousins worked there. It was the sweetest job. All right, let's go ahead and start kind of like tucking this in. You can do it just like that. And then what we'll do up here, y'all, is just cut this. But it was really fun, you know, making those bows. And oh man, people were so happy to get those gifts wrapped, because like I said, you know, we did like an exceptional job with our gift wrapping. All right, let's go ahead and tack this down. You can use double stick tape if you want. I like the tacky glue. My homemade Mod Podge. There's nothing wrong with homemade, y'all. We were talking about beads. Jenny Belly, you know, make paper beads. Make beads out of what you have. Make aluminium foil beads. And she would say, yes, it's pronounced aluminium. Look it up in the dictionary. I remember her saying that. So sweet. Man, we love our Jenny Belly. Love, love, love her. I've got a little thing sticking out right here. So I'm going to get that off. So see how, I mean, it looks nice and neat, right? Remember, this is a salvaged book. This is something somebody threw away or donated. So it's, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I do like for things to be usable. I would typically do a corner like this, y'all, but it's going to add too much bulk. So if you want to cut that corner before you start gluing down, it's kind of up to you. I hope y'all can see this all right. Chime in. Let me know. Let me know if you like these videos. You can click and subscribe. I looked at some of my analytics, which I don't typically do at all, and it said that lots of people were visiting. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And lots of people were viewing, but they weren't subscribing to the channel. So please subscribe to the channel. That would really help me. Also, my Etsy store is linked, y'all. And just visiting the Etsy store is very, very, very helpful to me. If you just visit, if you like something, you know, that's really awesome, cool. Also, I want to remind you that if you have purchased anything in the Etsy store of late, to please check your email, because you'll have a 20% off coupon. And you ladies have been using that. That makes me happy. I know that that system is working good. All right, so we're going to fold this down. Uh-oh. I forgot to cut right here. There we go. Now, we can do a couple of things when we get... you know, you can put book plates in if you want, or just leave it like it is. I think for this one, I'm just going to leave it like it is. For the fabric colored one, I did get a little bit fancy and do some book plates. There we go. For this, I wanted to show you a couple of ways to incorporate this. In a book like this, y'all, I couldn't incorporate it. I had to push the signature this way and tuck the fabric in. If I have another book like this, we'll do that again. For this one, same thing. I had to kind of tuck it in because there was... see, there's a space right here. But with this one, that space is glued into the book. So I'm not going to be able to do much with that. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. And you can cut it off real neatly, and it looks real nice. And there we go. We have taken a salvaged book that someone was going to throw away, and we have covered it with that thin kind of cardstock. So you might want to, you know, next time you're in a craft store or even in a thrift store, if you look for something like this Paper Studio 12 by 12, it doesn't have a poundage on it. I can see that this one came from Hobby Lobby, but this is like the kind of flexible-ish paper that you need to do this little project. Okay, let's, I saw this awesome paper that Leanne sent. I was like, yay! I also have to thank Miss CJ out there. Miss CJ sent along some truly awesome paper pads. They're the Mariposa paper pads. Ladies, I've never ever been able to get those. So it's like, yay! These would make awesome gifts for, you know, we got the holidays coming up. We've got Thanksgiving's coming up, and you know, when we hit Thanksgiving, we think about gratitude and, you know, just our yearly gratitude practice. I think that looks super cool. How about y'all? Please chime in. Let me know if you think that looks super cool. I crazy love it. Then we'll go ahead and stick that on the front. There we go. We could get fancy and do a closure, but I'm not going to do that. This is a book that I'll probably keep downstairs, and I like to track the day. I know that sounds weird, but I do like to know what I've accomplished in a day, because I think it's important that you go back in your day and you, it's important to me. It's not important to a lot of people, but I want to see what I have gotten done. I also kind of track, you know, our menus and stuff like that. So for me, that just like turns into a daily book or a commonplace journal. If you've, you know, if you're into the commonplace journal kind of practice as well. I could put a pocket right here, and I kind of looked at this sheet, and I can see that, you know, this would make a fairly nice pocket, but do I need a pocket in this book? I really don't. So there we go. We've taken an abandoned trash journal and turned it into something really super cool and really, really pretty. Let's do one more. This one does not have a cover. You could do a couple things. You could take some cardstock or cardboard and make yourself a cover, or you could just work with the book like this. I need some sort of stability here before I start covering the book. So what I'm going to do, 4, 5, I'm going to kind of look at 5 pages in. You know, that's pretty thick. And I'm going to glue those pages together. Do the same thing on the back. And that will be my faux cover. Faux is fabulous. Just be kind of sure you're smoothing this down. Yes, I have a croaky throat. I have had a croaky throat this January. I do not know, don't exactly know what happened in January, but it left me with a croaky throat. No big deal. Makes me sound like Marge Simpson. I sound like Marge. I've got a buckle right here. Not going to really let that worry me too much. This is a book that came from the trash that we are recycling, repurposing. No need to get all bent out of shape if it's not absolutely perfect. We are keeping it out of the landfill. We're keeping it out of the trash. It is being a little finicky with its little buckling there. Again, not really going to let that worry me. Okay, and I've got one more to glue in. There we go. Okay. Guys, if you're digging this video, please do. Again, we've got a 5x7 here. If you're liking this video, please do like and subscribe. That helps me create content for you guys. I'm going to leave my Patreon linked. That helps so much. My Patreon peeps paid for part of Mia's, my little dog, Mia's end of life expenses, which I really did appreciate, you guys. Thanks so much. All right, this again is a thin-ish kind of cardstock. So let's take our little book and kind of measure it out. So this is 8 by 12 now for the 5 by 7 book. Smooth it down a little bit. Kind of create that spine as best you can. You know, kind of press it down, punch it down. Not punch it down, but, you know, press it down. Give it a little bit of definition with your fingers. Just run your fingers along it like that. And you can see that spine starting to appear right there. All right, let's go ahead and glue that cover down. You ladies are so creative. And, you know, if y'all have done this, I would love to know, you know, any tips or tricks you could kind of pass along to us and let us know how your process is for saving salvaged books. Oops, I need to put this on this down the spine as well. There we go. Man, this is some pretty paper. This is like marbled paper. Now remember, we just kind of created a cover here, right? So it's not quite like this one because this one already had the cover on it. And honestly, having the cover on it is a little bit better, more helpful than having to create a cover. But that's okay, because we're saving the book, right? We're saving the book. And we will we'll make this into a pretty cover right here. Right, so we're folding here. I want to remember to cut. Oh, shoot. I also wanted to remind y'all that you can, I've set up thanks, and you can click thanks. And I get like 75% of your thank amount. And I really appreciate that as well. It's tricky to do this, especially since my hands shake so bad, but we got her done. Okay. Fold this in. Fold this in. Sometimes this one gets a little squirrely up here. If you've got a little bit of white right there, you know, you might want to just clip that off. But, you know, like I said, not super necessary. We kept the book out of the trash. We cleaned up our environment. Yes, paper is recyclable. I know all that stuff, but you know, there's also like a trick to keeping things out of the recycling. I think that is really important. Okay, I've got a little, yeah, I was kind of afraid of that. There we go. I'm gonna pull this up. This one is a little trickier, you know, with the cover that you had to create on it instead of using the cover that was already. Uh-oh. Well, look at that. We have, the little book is coming apart right there at the back. That's okay, because we have our tacky glue. So we'll just glue that right on back. It wouldn't be a craft with me video if something didn't go wrong. Right? Because that's just how it goes. Alright. Wow. It's really like... Alright. I'm gonna fix it. Apparently it didn't like the number of pages that I chose to put over here. There. That works. Alright, let's go ahead and fold. We are wrapping our book. We're wrapping our gift book, just like we did at the pharmacy. It's one of the first things that you learned how to do. My first job at the pharmacy, I was 14 years old. Wow. I've been working for 51 years. That's a long time, y'all. Tell me about your first job. What was your first job? I want to know. I think that job was great because, like I said, my cousins work there. You know, we all did our stint at the pharmacy. We all learned to use the bow machine. You know, it's like we still talk about it. Okay, we're just going to clip this off right here. I apologize for the handshaking this morning. Good grief. I think I might, I mean, I didn't have that much coffee. I have been working in the yard, and that kind of takes a bit of a toll on my hands, like it does everybody. All right, so there we go. We ta-da. We ta-da, we finished it. So there we go, and it looks really nice. I want to, you know, I was kind of trying to decide, do I want to put this in, or do I want to, like, do something different? And I'm thinking, I don't think that's not gonna do it. I do have something like this, but I don't want to use it like in the, you know, in the inside of the book, because this is another one that I'm just going to take downstairs and use as a commonplace journal. So I think what we'll do is just do a little cardstock book plate on the inside. That'll work, right? I'm looking for my ruler. Oh, I don't see it. So I know that's not quite 5x7. So I'm thinking it's probably going to be 4.5. Oh, yay, I found it. So we're looking at 6.5 by You can embellish these. You can add bookmarks. You can add tags. You can add pages. You can add signatures. You can really, like, really totally jazz it up. Just because I'm not jazzing it up doesn't mean that you shouldn't jazz it up, my friends. If you're feeling jazzy, go for it. I need to get a new desktop. That means I need to go to the dollar store and get myself a new sheet of poster board. So there we go. We just kind of glued that in there. Looks just fun. I gotta make sure I don't have any glue coming out. Same thing back here. This book was a little tricky. Remember, it didn't have a cover on it, the front or the back. But I think we did a good job. We did a good job at saving it and multi-purposing it and giving it a second life, a new life. I really don't know what to do with the cover. I kind of just like, I was looking through here real quick to see if I could find anything. I kind of just like this. I like that marbled look, but I like this Life is Beautiful. So maybe this will look good. Wow, it is really pretty. I think we're going to use that. I do like just the marbled look though, right? But, you know, if you can have something pretty, why not pretty it up? Oops. Okay, we have saved 2 books. It took about 30 minutes. You can purchase those books at thrift stores, wherever you go to buy your secondhand books. You can also purchase them at probably Dollar Tree, and I bet Dollar General has some like cheap-ish kind of books like that. So thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you guys had fun. I hope you learned a little something. I hope you'll do this your way. I realize that my way is not perfect, but you know, these are books that I'll use throughout next year as commonplace books, and they're just downstairs at my little desk down there. And they help me track the day, they help me diary, they help me journal, they help me plan menus and things like that. Thanks a lot, y'all, and I will see you soon. Take care.